Hello everybody, I have some more stuff in today. This one's going to be a bit of a two-parter, or alternatively, this one's a short PEGCAST and you'll get another one later. But the gist is, everybody, I'm driving right now to go meet Kai, which is pretty interesting. I never do that. But I'm driving right now to meet Kai for lunch. Dude, what are you doing? Go! Go! What? Dude, I'm losing it. What an idiot! I'm in a cartoon world! Baby Dove just sitting in front of my car on the road. All his friends flew away, and he just didn't! He just sat there! And there's a guy here practicing his golf swing behind his car. No ball, no grass, on the concrete, just swanging. Guys, I'm done. I'm freaking done. What's up? So, I have the whole, Japan trip to talk about. So, maybe I'll talk about that, but maybe I won't. Yesterday I played a game on Steam. It was me, Kai, Alina, and Lonnie. And, we played this game. I don't remember the exact name. I don't remember, but it's called something along the lines of Goblin Cleaner. And the premise of the game is that in between journeys of heroes going through this dungeon, you are a team of goblins that get paid to go clean it up, but you have to make sure not to die to the traps or anything. And so, that's pretty fun. It's a really cute premise, Sorry guys, I'm eating chocolate. I don't know why I started eating it while I'm recording a PEGCAST, but it's so good. But yeah, so what am I saying? Right. It's a really cute premise for a game. And in practice, the game is not out yet. So, we're playing the demo of this game. It's not finished. And you can tell it's not finished. There is, text in books that has just not been written. It'll say, PAG_8 instead of having anything on page 8. On one of the levels, the audio was just completely broken. There's a cat, and I assume the cat is supposed to have any mechanics tied to them whatsoever, but they just don't. You can't do literally anything with the cat. So that's just kind of weird. You pick him up and put him down, but that's it. He doesn't do anything. But that's all okay, the game's not finished. That's not detracting points. What was a detracting point is so you have this orb that will add or detract mana from an object. And so if this is a vine wall, then you could take mana out and make it come down so you can walk through, and then you can add mana to it to make it go back up. And if you add too much mana, then, like, it will, like, get spikes, and it can hurt, you know? And then, like, this was really cool, I thought. There's a piranha plant that, if it's at the right amount of mana, will just eat someone if they're in front of it. So you might want to, like, keep it with low mana the whole time until it's, like, you're done with everything else, and then you put it up to the normal amount. But something else that's fun is if you accidentally go past the mana level that you're supposed to, the piranha plant gets up. He, like, grows legs and starts walking, and then he'll eat you. So I thought that was cool. But really the only downside of this video game is that sometimes you have to find something that's like, no! I left Bluetooth on. Oh, it's already off! Let's go! I didn't actively turn it off, but it's already off. Wow. What a rush. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, right, yeah, so, sometimes you'll have to find something that's, like, relatively small, and there's supposed to be a feature where you can scan for objects so that you can, like, just see where all of them are, and, like, you don't have to just get completely lost, but the scan function doesn't work yet. So, like, we spent actually forever looking for these plants because they were sitting down in a place that looked like where they were supposed to be, but in actuality, they were not supposed to be there, and they had to be somewhere else, and it was just, like, so annoying. But, you know, especially for the first, like, couple levels, it was pretty fun. Just, like, cleaning the level. I do wish that the traps were maybe a little more interesting, because basically it just means, like, in practice, it just means that you have to, like, clean the floors without accidentally stepping on a pressure plate. You know? So, yeah, that's my review. I think it's a fun game. I think it will be good by the time it comes out, but who knows? They had 4 levels available, and we played 3. And, they each had, like, a boss of some sort. So, like, one of them had a weird tree guy, and he would shoot roots up, and you could pacify him by, like, giving him a meat chunk. Another level had, like, an evil gnome, and when you were in the same room as the gnome, you had to be quiet, so you couldn't run or jump. And there was, like, you know the eyeball on, like, a pillar from Zelda? Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's an eyeball that sits on a pillar and it spins around and it shoots lasers. That guy. They had that guy. Well, they basically had that guy. He was a little different, but... and you had to, like, defeat them all in interesting-ish ways. Like, you couldn't walk around the gnome, and you had to give the tree meat. And for the eyeball, you could turn it off by walking up behind it, sneaking up behind it, and, like, taking the head off. But as long as the head was off, like, you had to fix it in order to complete the level, like, as a cleaner. So, that was just kind of fun. I liked that. But yeah, that's that. Guys, I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast, but Peak is really fun. So, we played this game. This is the same group. Basically, Kai or Alina or Lonnie, they've all been traveling. And so the way they've been playing games is that they have been on a laptop parsecing in to their PC and then playing. Parsec being like, it's like a remote desktop application, you could say. Its like main intent is to be used for couch co-op games online. So like, you know, imagine I have Garfield Kart on my computer, and like there's no online multiplayer in Garfield Kart in this magical world, okay? If I use Parsec, then I can have you connect to my PC, and then the game treats your inputs as if they're coming from another controller that is connected to my PC. Meaning that we can play couch co-op even though we are physically distant. So what they use Parsec for is just they Parsec into their computer and then they play a game, like, and they're the only person playing, you know? So, that means we can't play any, like, legit games, you know? And when I say legit, I'm not trying to say that they're better, or that they're more legitimate, really. Really what I'm trying to say is we can't play any, like, hard or, like, competitive type video games. Because their connection just isn't that good. But whatever, so we played this game called Muck, M-U-C-K, and it's basically just like a during the day you mine resources, like really quite similar to Minecraft, and during the night monsters spawn, but the monsters progressively, the longer your run goes, get stronger. And so, you know, the stronger enemy will friggin' be too powerful. So the aim of the game is to survive long enough that you can get enough materials to build a boat, or sorry, to repair a big ship, and this big ship will take you away from the place. And we were playing that because it was free, and we just really wanted to beat it. And it was like, when we beat it, we'll buy Peak, because Peak was like $7, $7 or $8, I don't know. And so we beat Muck eventually, after honestly quite a while, because there's a lot you have to kind of learn. We weren't even going to the boat at first. We were just trying to get like the best gear, but we didn't realize that us getting the best gear, like basically no matter how fast we did it, the monsters would eventually just like outpower us. So what we ended up doing was, like, we would have 2 people on resource collection duty and 2 people on like warrior duty, where they would like go out and collect the items that we would need from like defeating bosses and stuff. And I would be sitting there mining away. It was like kind of relaxing, because I would just sit there and mine, you know? It was quite fun. That being said, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I could never play a game like that again, and I would be pretty happy. And Kai was, like, talking about it. He was like, this is insane, because, like, I have begged Jack to play survival games before, and he's never played a single survival game. This is the first one that he's ever agreed to play. And I was like, yeah, I don't like them. This one's fun because it's, like, funny and very simple, and, like, there was a goal very close, you know? We would be like, okay, this is it, and then we're going to be done with the game. So I liked that. But most survival games I just, like, can't get behind. I don't know. So Muck was fun. We beat Muck, and then we started to play Peak. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, so we played Peak. And Peak, if you don't know, is a new Friendsloppeg game where It's just you and your friends climbing a mountain, trying to get to the peak. And there are like 5 levels. It's the like first mountain, then there is a snowy mountain, then there's a forest. I have those in the wrong order. There's the first mountain, and then there's the forest, and then there's a snowy mountain, and then you go across the lava, and you climb up a volcano in the inside. And once you've completed all of those, you make it to the peak. And along the way, it's basically just like my favorite part of Breath of the Wild. That was a crazy, I don't know what my voice did there. But it like doesn't feel good. My throat doesn't feel good, you know? But yeah, it's basically just like my favorite parts of Breath of the Wild. Whenever Breath of the Wild came out, I just climbed all the mountains. So like, you know, you go to Kakariko Village to meet Impa. That's like the first quest. And I went to Kakariko Village, and then I was like, wow, that's a tall mountain. I'll go up there, and then I'll go speak to Impa. And then I climbed up all the mountains, and I killed a guardian. And I friggin' went all over the place. And I just did all of this before ever completing, like, the Impa quest. You know? The guardian took, like, all my weapons, basically. But, like, I just really enjoyed finding, like, ways to climb up mountains. Finding, like, little places to rest. And this game is just that, like, but better. Because you do it with your friends, and it has proximity chat, which means, like, you voice chat through the game, but it simulates, like, distance and echo and stuff based on where you are relative to the other people in the game with you. So, like, if you fall down the mountain, you'll have to yell down the mountain, like, "Are you okay?" And then you'll yell back up, like, "I'm alive!" Or, like, "I need help!" You know? And it's just super fun. It's super fun to do that. But you have, like, this big stamina bar that decreases if you carry too many things. It decreases with hunger. It decreases with you taking, like, damage from falling or from, like, getting hit by something. It decreases with, like, if it's too cold or if it's too hot. And every time you beat a level, you can revive all your teammates. And if your teammates have died, then they have a permanent decrease to their stamina that is like it's a permanent decrease to their stamina where it's like a death one, you know? But there are a bunch of fun items. So, like, in a couple of my runs, because you start at the beach, and in a bunch of my runs, there's a backpack, so you can hold 3 items, and then if you have a backpack, the backpack can hold 3 items. I filled it with coconuts, because when you throw a coconut against the floor or the wall, it splits into 2 halves, and each of the halves is a piece of food. So I was like, wait, the more coconuts I have, like, the better. Because every coconut is 2 food, so I can basically hold 6 food instead of 3, you know? Or I guess 12 instead of 6 if I count the backpack, which I did. So I was just filling up my backpack full of coconuts. Just filling it up. And what I didn't know is that they're really heavy. So I had, like, no stamina, but so many coconuts. So every time I'm hungry, I'm like, all right, time to bust open a new coconut. And then I bust it open and I eat one half and I carry the other still. But it was just like, I was so encumbered, you know? But then there are also really cool items. So, like, there's this one moment where Kai and I were both falling into the lava, essentially. And because we were falling near it, the rocks were really hot, and we were taking, like, heat damage. And that heat damage was causing us to be unable to climb. So Kai, in order to save himself, he ate a lollipop. And the lollipop gives you a sugar rush, which means you have infinite stamina for, like, a second or 2. So he uses his infinite stamina to go flying up the wall, and he gets to where he's safe. you then crash after the sugar rush and fall asleep, right? So it's like your sleep slowly ticks up until you fall asleep. And I don't know if he actually fell asleep or if he had enough stamina that he didn't, like, actually fall asleep. But he pulled out this legendary item we found that was, like, the Friendship Bugle. And basically, when you play the Friendship Bugle in the direction of a teammate, it gives them infinite stamina. So I was, like, dead. Like, I had basically resigned myself. Like, the game is over for me. Kai is just gonna have to go on without me. Like, I hope he'll be able to revive me at some point, but, like, I lost. This is a bummer. Kai, he plays his bugle. He goes, like... And I'm like, oh my god! And I climb up the friggin' wall with my infinite stamina, and we both barely survived. And I was like, wow, that was so awesome. That was the coolest thing ever. So then, you know, I set down my backpack to take some stuff out of it. And this is like a physics-based game, right? Like, when you drop things, they like, roll on the floor. And, like, when you fall, you, like, fall according to physics. It's not like a, you know, they didn't, like, program the jump to be, like, you follow this arc. They programmed the jump to be like, you have this much speed in a vertical direction, and then, you know, like, based on the geometry, like, that's how you'll go. I put down my bag, and there's, like, a physics glitch, right? There's a weird physics glitch, and my backpack goes flying into the sky, and we've lost all our climbing equipment, because I had all of it. I had, like, a rope cannon, which means that you can, like, shoot a rope with, like, it's like almost a hook shot, but it doesn't pull you. You just shoot the rope, and then it, like, drapes down. And then if you can grab the rope, you can climb up it, and climbing the rope takes, like, no stamina. And then I had, like, a chain launcher, where, like, you shoot a chain, and then you can climb across the chain. That's more, like, horizontal than vertical. But it's really helpful in the volcano, where sometimes you have to switch sides of the volcano, and it's really difficult to. I had just, like, all the climbing tools, basically, and a med kit, I think. I don't remember exactly what I had, but I remember that my backpack was full of really important things, and it flew away, and I was like, what? And I was so sad, because we didn't know that there were only 5 levels. So... this is, like, right before we made it to the, end of, like, level 4 before you do the volcano, which is the last level in the game. And so we didn't know that there was only 1 level left. So I was, like, heartbroken. I was like, oh my god, I was crestfallen, dude. I was freaking crestfallen, dude. But it ended up being okay. We made it to the peak and it was cool. But yeah, the characters, they look so funny, man. When you're just, like, climbing and when you're talking, it's so awesome. It's just such a wonderful video game. Well worth the price tag, and I would love to play with the Penguins. So, like, if you guys find that, well, maybe we could just try it. Maybe we'll all find time sometime, and then we'll try it. And if you don't have the processing power to run Peak, then you can get a Steam refund. Because you can refund a game on Steam within, like, I think it's 2 hours of purchase. So, yeah. So maybe we'll try it. And if you guys can run the game, then I would love to play Peak with you guys, because it's so fun. It's actually so fun. It's just such a funny game. Like, we have this, there was an evil skull power, or, like, legendary item, super secret item that we found. And the idea is that, like, it kills you, but it heals all the teammates around you. And, whoever was left was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm going to kill myself and revive everyone. And they did it, and then they just died, and then the run ended. Like, it didn't revive them because they were too far away. And it was just so funny, because we were like, I'm going to sacrifice myself, go on without me. And they did it, and then the run was just over. It was so funny. But yeah, I'm about to where I'm parking. So, everybody, comment below, are you interested in playing Peak with me? it's like a really silly game where we all work together, and I feel like that's the easiest kind of game to get into. It's like a relatively inexpensive, a relatively like simple, meaning like not complex, easy to understand. Enter on... Is that the street I'm on? Yeah, that is. Okay, I'm supposed to enter the parking garage here. But where? Oh, right here. I see. Cool. Hooray! I found the parking. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like a really anxious parker. I'm sure you know this because you've been listening to the PEGCASts before. But I'm like an extremely anxious parker. I get really, really anxious about parking. So the fact that I found the parking lot so easily is like really big for me. That's pretty huge. Yeah. But also it's like, it's cooperative, right? So like, you don't have to feel bad when someone is more experienced when you play a cooperative game, because, like, you know, if I'm climbing with a fellow penguin and it's their first time climbing, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that I can climb with them, you know? I'm going to devote all of my skill and all of my resources to help. Okay, I gotta get a ticket. Alrighty. Got my ticket. I don't think I can get it validated, is the sad part. Yeah, no, I don't think I can. Okay. Well, I'm gonna look for a nice parking spot. I'm gonna look for one that's easy to drive into. That car looks relatively expensive, so I'm not parking next to it. Those people parked poorly, so I won't park there. But this looks good. Oh, it's 90-minute parking on this level. Okay, well, I think I'll be here for longer than that. And that is handicap parking. Dude, I'm just freaking spinning around. I'm just spinning around. When am I gonna find a spot? That person parked perfectly in 2 spots so that no one could park next to them. I could park right here. Is that good? I mean, it's quite narrow. Oh, yes. This person is leaving. Oh, or they're not leaving, and they're actually parking right now. I think I'm gonna keep going. They're parking right now instead of leaving, so I think I'm gonna keep going. Sorry, I'm looking behind myself. I don't know if I got quiet there, but I was looking behind myself to see if they secretly were actually leaving instead of going in. Oh yeah. Boom! Big juicy spot. Good things come to those who wait, penguins. This is why we practice safe driving. This is why we practice safe driving. It is still very small, but it's a lot better than what we were looking at before. It's a lot better than that. I'm gonna straighten myself out. Make sure I fit. Awesome. Awesome town. Frigging beautiful. Boom. Well. Anyways, guys. I guess that is going to be probably the end of this episode. I'm going to text Kai. Just going to send him an eyes emoji. And then when Kai replies is when I'll turn off the episode, I guess. Yeah, but I really enjoyed Peak. What else? Yeah, so I'm eating this Trader Joe's chocolate, right? It's the Trader Joe's oat chocolate bars. A smooth and creamy texture without the milk. And boy howdy, let me tell you, most freaking delicious chocolate I've ever eaten in my whole freaking life. That's what I'm telling you right now. Guys, Kai hasn't responded, but like I don't have anything more to say right now. So anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. Sorry that this is not going to pause and then be a freaking juicer and a half, but that's just how life is. So anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe to others. Have a nice good. Bye.